All right, we're here with head rowing coach Matt Weise talking about the Jacks getting ready for some championship racing. Jacks are going to be at the Weise this weekend out in Sacramento on a course they've raced at earlier in the season, I believe.
Yep.
Against a couple GNAC foes as they get ready for GNACs a couple weeks after that, and hopefully the national championships after that. So, Coach, just kind of give us a little bit of an idea of what we can expect this week. Obviously, you guys are coming in. You've been ranked second in the last two national polls. You're going to have some really stout competition. You're going to be seeing Central Oklahoma, who just came into the last national poll first in the nation. Really, really steep competition this week. And just kind of give us your thoughts and your expectations for the group coming off of a stretch of not racing and resting and recuperating.
We've had a few weeks. The first week was get everybody back in order because 4 weeks of straight racing was quite a grind. But they're back now, and part of it is energy, right? One nice thing about seeing Seattle Pacific and Central Oklahoma there is it adds a little urgency to the training. They are nervous, which is a good thing, and excited. So it's nice to be able to see them kind of ramp up. We've changed some training stuff to just try to make things make it a little more fresh, and I think that they are doing a good job responding to that.
And talk a little about that. Just kind of elaborate a little more for me. Just the attitude in the boathouse at practice, kind of going into, because really at this point you're really into kind of your championship racing part of the season.
Yeah, I become more of a sports psychologist the last month than anything else, because precision-wise, they've done the technique, they've done a lot of the training, although the training will continue to progress, but part of it is how strong are they going to be between their ears, right? So how are they going to get themselves to produce, how are they going to keep themselves relaxed and light and not pressurized when they know that they can be fast, and I think that's really the biggest thing is can they just row how they know how to row and let themselves do that.
Awesome. And I know, like you said, just coming off of 4 straight weekends of racing and then having a bit of time to kind of recuperate. Do you feel like there's a chance, or not? I guess the best way to put this is, do you feel like there's going to be a reacclimation period kind of getting ready to race again, or do you think they're going to go into this feeling fresh and feeling just ready to race again?
We've been doing enough intense work that it's not going to be a shock to their system to go hard again. So I think having other schools there just adds another little level of energy, but I think they've been doing enough race work that they know how to do it.
Yeah. And obviously, like we said, you've raced at this place before, Sac State Aquatic Center. What other schools will be there outside of obviously your GNAC opponents, Central and Seattle Pacific?
So there's a lot. We are in the Division II, Division III, and club event. So Lewis and Clark is Division III. University of Puget Sound, I think, is Division III. Arizona State, I think I saw in the mix. I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of schools. I think there's 11 or 12 schools in the 8, and then there's the same amount in the 4s. We're also in 2 other events. We're on this what's called the second 8. We decided to kind of mix some of our novices and our experienced group and create that event. And then we also have a novice 4, and that I think is the biggest event. But there's a lot. I think there's up to 20 schools in that event. So it's. I don't remember all of them in all honesty.
Well, certainly.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have a good mix of youth and experience on this team. How have your older members, have they been able to kind of instill some experience onto the younger members, especially going into the championship part of the season and nerves are kind of high and athletes are kind of excited about, getting to this point in the season?
Yeah, part of it's race nerves, and part of it is we've got final exams coming. They have to move, right? There's all these things that just culminate at the end of the season, and that, I think, becomes very difficult for the younger group. And the seniors have been through it, right? So they can talk about it. They can help them. There's just the mentorship that they have, I think, is big. And part of what I appreciate about this team is they actually do it, right? There's some times where those classes just kind of get separated and they do their own thing. But this group has really, the senior group has really done a good job, I think, of incorporating everyone into the fold.
Awesome.
Coach, one thing I was just wondering about, and pardon me for maybe not understand, but when you think about this postseason with Ryan and then the GNAC and then hopefully the Division II championships, how do you obviously it's a great opportunity to test yourself. Is that sort of where you take this as that opportunity to ramp up? Where you get to see some of these top level opponents and then come back to your maybe more, I don't want to say urgent, but maybe more urgent present postseason? Those last final two events.
Yeah, the final two events are certainly, though, especially the GNAC championships is very urgent. Like we need to do well. We are poised to hit two peaks. One is at GNACs and one at NCAA. So the Weir ones are really training hard through so that we can get those peaks. I assume that the other schools will be doing the same. I guess we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of what's going to happen this weekend, which is nice, is they will see Central Oklahoma, who we haven't seen yet. We'll get a sense of where we are when we see them again in 2 weeks. So a lot of, I think, their nervousness this weekend is they just don't know. They're just seeing some schools they haven't seen yet. So,
yeah, and to that same point, it's sort of like, I mean, how do you kind of manage that as far as maybe this is definitely an event where with, you have that urgency, that training where you want to perform very well. But also maybe there's a little bit of a lighthearted or fun or whatever.
Well, we always
get to see it, and then there's going to be that final event.
So if the goal is to go as fast as you can, right? How do you create that? And that's really what we've been talking about with the athletes. You're creating a rhythm in your boat. You're creating an identity in your boat. What do you want that to be? Right? And how do you create that over and over and over again so you're smiling while you're doing it? Even though it's uncomfortable, it's still fun to be there. And that really is something that they're working on. It's not always an easy task, particularly at the end of a semester when we've been going at this for a while. But I think they're doing a good job of recognizing maybe some of the holes in their game and trying to figure some of that out.
Got it. Well, actually, I think that's it for me. Thank you, Coach.
All right, sure. Thank you.